good morning, and welcome to Mindset Monday. We are so excited to be here with you today. I'm Shelley Butler,
I'm Eve Doucette.
and we have a little something something for you this morning. We talked about it last week. We did it with the real Veronica. We're doing it with another scenario this morning, and Estelle is actually going to play that for you now. So we're going to listen in because this is new for us too. We have no idea what this scenario is. But what it is going to be is it's going to be a little bit of a real life story, and we're
Oh,
going to talk about it. Here we go.
okay.
Go for it, Estelle. Thank you.
Okay, I'll be sure to keep that in mind moving forward. Are you tired of putting in effort at a job that doesn't even give you the time of day? Where you know you're not appreciated and therefore have no desire to move up in the company? Try not giving a shit. When you don't give a shit, your job and your life, well, they just become easier. I used to give a shit. I was spending my precious time going above and beyond to prove that I was good at my job. I wanted to be the best. Then I realized no one at my work gave a shit. Everyone was happy just coasting through, picking up a paycheck, and calling it a day. I wanted to live my life that way too. So when your boss says, "So where do you see yourself in this company 5 years from now?" you can just tell them, "Hey, I'm just happy to be here at all." Side effects of not giving a shit may include less anxiety, more time for you, extended lunch breaks, calling in sick because you don't feel like working, and potentially losing your job. So talk to your boss today about not giving a shit. Or don't. I don't give a shit. Okay, I'll be sure to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I've heard it.
Yeah.
I've heard it lots.
You mean here?
Not here.
Oh.
Not here.
Like there's something to this though.
Yeah.
Like not caring like
Yeah.
what other people think,
Yep.
right? Like I think it's a really good message in a way. It's a bad message in another way. It's like if you what I've noticed about leaders or successful people or people that are like somebody asked me, how do you attain peace of mind? Well, partly you don't give a shit. Partly you say, you know what? I don't actually, it doesn't matter what you think of me. It doesn't matter what you think that I'm doing. It matters what I think about myself. It matters what I think about what I do. So there's half of that that I kind of agree with, and the other half that I don't. Because if you start not caring about you, if you not start caring about, doing the things that you love or being passionate about something or going the extra mile to discover something, not for someone else, not to get something else, not to like to deliver something so you'll get the promotion or you get the reward. No, you do it because you are in it and you care enough about yourself, your self-esteem, if you want, that you go the extra mile, you do something different. There is something about that. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I confused not caring about the outcome. Like we started a few minutes late today. It's okay. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit
No,
whether
right.
we
So
started
yeah,
at
yeah.
9:30 or
Doesn't
9:38. It
matter.
really didn't make any difference.
No.
I hate to leave our audience waiting.
True.
But at the same time, we had some stuff that was really important that we had to kind of get
Well,
nailed down. So I at one time the guilt would overcome me, right?
you had to start at 9:30.
Well, I hate, yeah, the
You hate
guilt,
being late.
the guilt would over come my sensibilities, if you will. It's okay. It's okay. Most people actually that watch Mindset Monday later. They don't necessarily
Yeah.
chime in at,
So
at
you know
9:30.
and you process this, right? So it's about weighing all these things and saying what's the most important thing I could do. I
Is it going to matter two
yeah.
hours from now? Is it going to matter 10 minutes from now? Is it going to matter 5 years from now? Right. The one thing I do not want to hear is people don't care about their job. See, the thing is if you don't care about the work that you're doing,
That's different.
it's completely different.
Like it's completely caring about like that we're on time. Like you cared that we were on time, but you weighed in and say, okay, what's more important? We're trying to get. First of all, we couldn't get there because we had some technical issues to get done. So that's like some things are impossible to control. So we're trying to get that done so we can show you this video and we
Video.
can find that topic on it. First time we did it. So sometimes when you do the first time, Like it takes a bit of work, and Estelle and Angela were
That's
trying to figure this out, and we were patiently waiting, and that was worth it because we actually want to bring you more value,
that's
right?
yes,
So that's why. So it's kind of balancing that.
that's right. That's right. It mattered more that we delivered the content
Yes.
than being on time in
So
this
it,
particular case,
so it's
right?
not about like it's so I love this video. This is really good because if you look at people who actually are the reason that it's important. This is what I'm thinking. Like like for the longest time in my personal life, I was depressed, so like severe depression, and my house was filled with projects that I'd never completed. I started but never completed.
Yep.
I had hundreds of them,
Yep.
and the garage was full. I don't think I had seen the the floor of my garage in 15 years. And I remember, like very vividly, I would go to a party, and my wife would say, talk about the shower that was broken for 15 years. And I couldn't figure out how to move forward. Now, for some people, it's easy, just call someone. But for me, that was an impossible task, right?
Yeah.
And it's because I cared so much about what people, my wife, valued me as to be enough of a man to do it, to fix it, to take care of it, that I couldn't get to the first step. That's where it brought me to.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hang your hat on other people's thought about you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Way of loving you, way of seeing you, way of like
Mm-hmm.
judging you. If you hang your hat on that, you could, this is what happened to me, you could end up in a place that you can't move anymore. And that's what happened to me. I couldn't move anymore. Until one day I said, you know what? No matter what I do, what I'm looking for, which is to be enough of a man, is inside, not outside. It's inside of my heart. It's inside of me.
Yeah.
So then I
Has
started to
nothing to
do
do with you finishing the
no,
shower.
no. So what I started to do is like I'll do one little thing today. I'll put one little square tile. I'll glue
Mm-hmm,
that,
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
then I'll sit there and have a glass of wine and just celebrate myself.
Yeah.
And when I started doing that, I let go of giving a shit about what other people thought or
Yeah.
didn't think. And I would urge you to do that. I urge you, like
Yeah.
I remember the judge telling me when I was working 80 hours a week, and I went to the judge and I was complaining that he never paid me for that amount of work. I did that for 10 years, right? And the judge said, well, nobody asked you. And I thought, that's true.
Yeah.
So I got something from that. I got something from working so extra hard. What did I get? What I wanted, and I also wanted something. I wanted his blessing. I wanted his, like, I
Approval.
want approval. I want to
You want
belong.
his love.
Yeah. So I'm not talking about what I'm talking about here is letting go of that and saying, no, I'm happy with what I've
Yeah.
done. And I got something from it. And what I got was a discovery of what I can do,
Yeah.
going the extra mile.
Yeah.
Right. And
Absolutely.
so there's a balance between, yeah, most of the stuff that we're doing it to discover something about ourselves and then letting go of the rest. I think that's what he's talking about.
He
That's what I think.
absolutely is. There's
Yeah.
no better approval or there's no better win than when you can actually give that win to yourself, when
Yes.
you actually feel that win.
Yes.
See, the thing is if you believe, if somebody else believes that you've had a win and they
Yes.
give you the compliment, but you don't feel it viscerally,
Yes.
right? You don't believe in that win. It doesn't matter what anybody else says.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. You actually have to give yourself that win. So that's why I think I loved
So true.
Snoop Dogg when he got up and he went. So Snoop Dogg wins an award, right? He
Oh,
get
like, yes, I remember that.
he gets up and he thanks few people, but he says more importantly, I'm going to thank me for
Mm.
putting in the time,
Yes.
for putting in the work, for making sure I made the effort. See, the thing is what you think of me really is irrelevant. Like a lot of people will say, what you think of me is none of my business,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And that is actually true. If you're hanging your hat on what others are thinking of
It's
you,
none of your business.
um, well, you're going to suffer and you will
Yeah.
go into depression. See,
You,
the thing
yeah.
is if you're worried about not finishing the tiles, not finishing the shower, because you already have decided, I never finished it before. So if I start, I'm going to look like a
Mm.
failure again. I'm
Yes.
going to feel like a failure again. I mean, it's just the same, repeating the same thing over and over again, right? You've got to be able to say to yourself, I'm either going to get it done so I can be proud of myself, I can believe in myself, or you have to say, you know what? That doesn't fuel my joy.
Yeah.
I'm going to call a plumber and I'm going to get it done.
And if you have somebody saying something like, don't you have some pride in finishing your work, or don't like when somebody gives you a shame,
Mm.
well, you should do this instead of doing that. You should do it this way. And shit. Well, yeah, don't give a shit.
Listen, everybody's going to have an opinion.
Yeah.
And if you are weighing your life on other
Yeah.
people's opinions, you're in big trouble. I like when he said, have a conversation with your boss,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? You got to have a conversation with your boss because the thing is your boss, if you don't think that your boss doesn't know that you already hate your job
Mm.
and you're half-assing it, your boss knows. I know.
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
everybody here who doesn't like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Anybody here who doesn't like that
Oh,
particular section of work that they're doing.
yes.
I can feel it. It's visceral, right? It's within you. So the thing is it's not about you doing the work. What I stand by is, and I stand back and look at is, are they going to hand that on?
So,
Are they going to make sure that they delegate that work? Because I can tell you, there's somebody who's just itching to do that work that you don't want to do.
so there's a line here between, and like I see it when somebody's saying, I don't give a shit about what you're asking or what you're telling me to do, but I'm delivering something amazing here. Like
Mm,
I'm focused on delivering something,
hmm.
right? I was hanging pictures for my in-laws yesterday, and my wife said, like, I told you, like, don't you remember I told you about asking you to do this? I said, absolutely not. I didn't understand what you're saying. And she said, "Oh, right. I remember you telling me when you're focused on one thing, when I'm talking, you're not listening. Absolutely, I'm not listening. I'm doing one thing."
Yeah.
And then she says, "Yes, I'm grateful for you hanging the pictures, and so thank you."
Yeah.
So that, like, it's not about
Taken you
right
40 years to say
to
that.
say that, but I had the galls to say, you know what? I'm not listening. I'm focused.
Yeah.
I'm focused on doing. I can't be calculating stuff and listening to. I can't. Like, I just can't.
So that was always your choice.
That was always my choice.
Whether she wanted to give you five
Yes.
things,
Yeah.
but it's always your choice to
Mm.
say, I'm not listening.
I'm not
I'm
listening.
not
I'm
listening.
not
We're
there.
so fearful of what the comment will be after. We're so fearful
So
of
true.
being judged that we can't do two things at once, or the list of things that you're giving me is going to anger me to the point where I'm in reaction,
Yes.
right? Instead of speaking her truth.
What happens when you start? This is my thinking. What happens when you start thinking about what they're thinking is you're not present. You're not here. You're
No,
not focused on one thing. You're
yeah,
not like becoming
yeah,
you're not discovering something. You're not here.
yeah.
You're listening. You're thinking about what are they thinking about me?
That's consciousness, right? We all have a consciousness, but do you have
Oh,
enough self-awareness that you can say to yourself, or you can say to your consciousness, right? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can tell that
okay.
I'm conscious about her asking me for other things, but it is angering me.
Okay, so that's consciousness. If you're thinking about what they're thinking about you, that's not consciousness. That's just being fear. But if you're
Well,
thinking,
you're conscious of
why
it.
am why am I angry that she's asking me for some to do something else while I'm doing something? And you say, why am I angry? You're seeing that you're angry. You're
Yep.
seeing that you have an emotion.
Self-awareness.
That's self-awareness, that's
Self-aware.
consciousness. And that's what not caring about like when you're kind of getting into this like discovery of your thoughts, that is not giving a shit.
That's it.
That's big. Basically, that's being present to so much so that you're not giving a shit about your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Why am I angry about like this person cutting me off? Why am I angry about like I wanted to get into traffic yesterday, so I was like it was a lot of traffic for some reason in Moncton, but I had trouble.
Yeah,
So
don't
this
come.
guy was like coming from my left. It was pretty far, like pretty far away, and this guy was coming from my right. So I said I'm going to go in, but I waited for the guy from my right to come in so I could squeeze and turn. This guy comes in like he puts the pedal to the metal, comes in blaring on his horn. I had zero reaction to it. I just looked at him,
Yeah.
moved on.
And
There's no danger, right? There's no danger. There's nothing to do,
not if you have enough
right?
self-awareness that your self-awareness is saying to your consciousness, this isn't worth your effort.
It's
This
not,
is not
I don't
worth your
care. Yeah,
reaction. This
yeah,
guy is not worth your time,
right. Right.
right?
There's no danger there. There wasn't like I didn't have to react. There was no hiding. There's no, I'm just like, you know what? It's okay. Everything's good.
How many minutes do we give away in a run of a day
Most of the minutes.
to reaction,
Mm.
to being attached to an outcome, to ourself,
There's
to our thoughts that have no bearing on anything around us. It's absolutely amazing.
So when I coach, I do this all the time. I said, okay, money. You want to make money, right? Because we live in a time right now that we are suffering. We want some abundance. We want a little more money. Everything's costing more money. So I always do this. I say, okay, money is a direct correlation to action, and action is energy, right? So if you put something into action, you're going to make more money. But if you're wasting your time, which we are most of the time, if you start looking at your thoughts, you'll see how much energy you're wasting about thinking about what they're thinking. Why did he do this to me? Why did he say that to me? Why did she do this? Why did she say that? Why? And this is so much energy that we waste instead of being in the doing of something. This is what he's talking about. Don't care about your thoughts.
Don't care about your thoughts.
Don't believe everything you think. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let go of it.
Let go
Yeah,
of it.
and do
You
the
do
direct.
not know what your boss is thinking
No, you don't.
unless you actually talk to your boss.
Yeah.
So many people go to bed with the perception of what they think is real.
Mm.
Most of our thinking is actually not real. As a matter of fact, most of your memories aren't real.
No, they're just made up.
So,
Well, mostly.
right? So
Mm.
we will have people talk about their trauma, right? When you're coaching, I find that a lot of people will talk about trauma. I remind people, often that trauma has been made up in your head so
Oh
often.
yeah.
So this is a new thing that I have been doing to get rid of the stories.
What? What?
I have been writing them out as plays.
Oh, that's interesting.
Me, right? Sunset, red
Mm.
shirt, you know, him.
No shirt.
This is this is, this
Sorry,
is
read your
what he
mind.
said. Me, this is
Mm.
what I said. Him, this is what he said. Me, this is what. So writing it up like as if it was a
That's
play,
interesting.
right?
Yeah.
So the one thing that happens when you start to do that, right? When you start to relive the story that's in your mind, you don't remember truly. You truly
Ah,
don't remember.
right.
So I have to really think hard. Now, it's weird because in my mind, the story is so clear. The story is vivid. It's clear. I can tell you what
Yeah.
he wore, what I wore, what shoes I had on, what glasses. Do you know what I mean? With the color of the curtains. I believe I can remember all of that. But then when I start to write the play,
Yeah.
right? Even putting the title to the play and I start to write it out, I get maybe three lines, thank you, and it's gone. The story is gone. There really was not a story. There really was no play. There really was no memory.
That's interesting.
It is colorful,
Mm.
let me tell you. So it is a new way that I have been journaling to rid myself of the stories
I love
because
that.
I go back and I grab my journals. I carry usually
Mhm.
3 years of journals in my bag. So I have like 2015, 2008, and 2024 with me
Wow.
today. But what's really interesting when you go back and you look, it's the same damn stuff. You're writing about the same thing.
Because you have the same thoughts every day.
The stories are
So the
there.
stories over
The
there.
stories are
Yeah.
there. Now, I'm going to tell you what has happened to me this summer since I started to write the plays, since I decided to write. So, what had happened is I started to write a book.
Mm.
And when you write the book, you want to write the story and you want to be
Right.
as clear as you possibly can because
Yes.
that story in my mind was clear, very
Right.
clear until I started to write the story. We don't remember. We don't remember what the actual
It's
story is.
because we don't see reality. We see with our brains and we see our emotions
Mm,
and we feel with our emotions.
yeah.
We hear with our emotions, and an emotion is just something in the past. So
Hmm.
so that's why we have the same thoughts mostly. Like 99% of the thoughts are the same.
Yeah.
So again, if you can't like the idea about not giving a shit is I love that because it's kind of a concept of I don't give a shit what I think because that's in the past. I give a shit of what I am seeing in the present moment. Journaling is a great way to let go of the past
Yeah.
because then you can see it, say, oh, is that true? Is that not true? Writing a book is a great way to let it go. That's my experience of it. Like writing it, go, and then now it's in the past. I don't have to talk about it anymore. It's done. So writing about your trauma is a great way to, or your experience is a great way to just let it go and say, okay, now I'm moving forward. It's because you, when you write it, you see it, and when you see it, you kind of, it's a way to get the energy out of your
It
body.
and that's why Show Up works so well.
Yeah,
Show Up works
yeah,
so well. So we have an app that we use in our meetings and have conversations, and sometimes to discuss like in depth projects that are coming up.
yeah,
And what happens with that is people can say their truth because we have no idea who's talking. It's anonymous, so you can actually um, question all those things, all those stories that you have in your mind. Now, what we found is we've been doing this for about 4 years. So, what we found is as people are typing out that inquiry, that question, that why would we choose this project? What are we thinking about? I find more than not, it's not you and I
no,
that are answering those,
it's the rest of the team.
it's the rest of the
But
team.
let's be clear, we had to get over ourselves. We had to give no shit, right?
We had
To what people are saying about us
and our control.
and our control. So,
Yeah, and our
like,
control over the situation.
I
Excuse
see
me.
this all the time when I'm coaching people to use show up. The biggest problem I have is coaching the leaders to let go of the thing that they think about themselves, because
Yeah,
like they're
no
gonna,
self is
right,
huge
you're
into
gonna
this.
have, so then you can listen. If you can listen without giving a shit, without caring, then you'll be curious as to why do people think that way.
Yeah.
That's a discovery. But if you start thinking about what they're thinking and you start caring about that,
Yeah.
you're no longer here. You're in your thoughts. You're in their past.
Yeah.
Like, okay, get your journal out and start recording that, because when you start looking at that, it's an ability to stop. So if you want to stop thinking about the past,
Yeah.
so as a leader, what you have to be as actually so, and as an individual, actually, if you want to lead your life, you have to be so conscious that you're thinking about thinking, and then just instead of doing that, just see your thoughts. Journaling is a great way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Admitting is a great way to do
Mm-hmm.
that. Show up is a great way to do that,
Mm-hmm.
because show up allows you to be confronted with the truth that you don't want to hear. And the ability to not give a shit about, it's like, you know, like, I have to be careful with this. It's not that you don't care what they're saying, it's that you don't care about what you're thinking about that, they're saying. It's
Exactly.
different,
It's
right?
completely and
Right.
totally different. Of course, we care about the thought. So the thing is, when you had said, that you can share in their truth, they can share in their truth, or they can just share in whatever's on their mind. See,
Yes.
the thing is it's not always truth.
No, no.
We don't, but we believe
Mhm.
that it is.
We believe that it
We
is.
believe
Yeah.
that it is. And we question why we have such a low trust factor within our lives, right? Because we tend to do this. We say to ourselves, well, I heard from so
Yeah.
and so that so and so, right? And now we say that that's truth.
It's
That's our
like
gospel.
it's just starts being like in your head. It starts playing like a, okay. So I've been told that sometimes I coach unsolicitedly. This is one of our teams, like the Kuma team. So
Yep.
I've been told don't coach. They don't want me to coach unless they ask. I say no problem. I try to do that as much as I can, but I still come up. And then last week, someone told me they were talking about the cells, and they said, this particular person is coaching, so we just call her a mini Eve. Like, in other words, like they don't like it. They're coaching and they're mocking me. Now my head went into, oh my God, they don't like what I'm saying. They don't. I'm not valued anymore. How dare they? I'm have more experience than them. Why can't they listen? Blah 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 blah. And what happens with that is, like, you start thinking about, well, I'm not going to show up. I'm going to not speak ever again. I'm going to not go to any more meeting. I'm not going to show up because I care.
You can if you don't give a shit.
Right. Right. If you don't get, you're right. So that's what he's saying. That gentleman is saying, I don't give a shit about what I'm thinking, about what you're thinking. Now,
Yeah.
does that mean, so that means that I can actually, does that mean I'm a bad coach? No, that's not what I mean. I do coaching, a lot. I coach a lot. But that means that I should be listening to the people that don't want to be coached. Then I shouldn't coach, because that's not welcome. And I totally agree with that. But yet sometimes I can't stop myself. Okay, I got to work on that.
Yeah.
And so that opens me up to letting go of certain things in order to show up better, show up better. Get the pun, show up better, show up better. How are you showing up?
How are you showing up?
And no, but that's it though. How are you showing up?
How are
And
you
if you
showing up?
don't
Yeah.
give a shit about what people, if you don't give a shit about your thinking about what people are thinking, you can actually show up in the present moment with authenticity And what
Clarity.
happens? Clarity. What happens is you can let it go. Journaling is a great way to
Yep.
do that. Show up is a great way to do that
Yep.
because show up allows all your team to show up. And you as a leader, you will have to not care about what you're thinking,
Yep.
about what they're thinking. That's the job.
Yep.
And if you can rise up from that, you'll be able to hear more and more and more truth. Now, what I said to this person who said, no, we referred to you as a mini me, I was pretty proud of that
Of course.
because she had the trust that I would not react to the fact that she says we're laughing at you behind your back.
Hmm.
And think about that for a second. She had enough trust to tell me we're laughing at you behind your back,
Yeah.
right? Now that hurt me for a second. Then I thought, hold on
No
now.
self, no self, no self.
That's what I want to hear. So I
Yeah.
can continue to work on becoming better, a better leader, a
Yeah.
better dad, a better friend, a better person.
Yeah.
And I can actually don't care about what I'm thinking, about what she's thinking. I don't give a shit about what I think, about what she's thinking about me. Right.
Yeah.
So that way I can actually open myself up to, okay, call me names. It doesn't matter to me. You can call me anything you want. Right.
Yeah,
Is that,
that's guru status, honestly. That's guru status. So when you can
I'll
actually
take
be
that.
there, and Dr.
No,
Dr. Robin Hanley Defoe
mm,
actually told us because she's a psychologist, right? So when people come to her and they share, sometimes they're just sharing. So she actually came up with oh, hang on a sec. Are you looking for me to participate in a
right.
solution,
Mhm.
or are you looking for me to just listen? I have adopted that,
It works, right?
and it
Yeah.
absolutely works.
Yeah,
And
I love it.
sometimes, a lot of times, I have to stop the person from even talking. Just a sec, just a sec. Do you want me to help you,
Yeah.
or do you want me to listen? Because the thing is I'm always going to solicit advice. I'm always going to go into coaching mode. It's just my MO. I don't want to leave somebody out there, but I also noticed, especially with my friend group, that they just want somebody to listen in
A lot of times that's what they
in a
want.
lot of times. So I didn't want to. So when Robin talked to us about that, I thought, oh my God, I need to use that because I want them to always know that I don't necessarily know better.
So that's interesting, Shelley,
Clarity
because
is important.
what happens as a friend or a leader or even a wife or a husband, 90% of the time that what we have to do is show up. 90% of the time is just showing up. That's the job.
Oh
The
no, that's
job, so the job is to show up,
99% of the
right?
time. Yeah.
And if you can actually see your thoughts and say, I don't care about what I'm thinking, about what you're thinking. I
Hmm.
don't give a shit about
Hmm.
what I'm thinking, about what you're saying. If you can really get to that point, then you can be present. Then you can actually listen. And at that point, maybe there's an opportunity to do something or not, right? But sometimes like what we have to do is just show up and be there for that person. I don't know how many times I've done that. It's just there's nothing to do except not thinking, not caring about what you're thinking about what they're thinking, right? So seeing that you want to do
Takes
something,
practice.
it takes practice. Well, somebody asked me that the other day. She says, "How do you get inner peace? How do you get to be inner peace?" I said, "Well, for me, the same way to go to the gym. You wake up every morning, you go to the gym. You wake up, you get build muscle. How do you build muscle? Go to the gym, build muscles, right? Everybody knows that. Well, having inner peace, not caring, building a mind so that you don't give a shit about what you're thinking, about what they're saying, right? Or what they're doing, or
Yeah.
what they're thinking about
Yeah.
you, having a mind that you can actually keep moving and delivering and becoming the best version of yourself takes practice. And show up is a tool to practice.
Yeah.
Show up is a tool to practice. And so people would say, well, how many meetings should you have a week about show up? Well, you should use it every day. Like
You
you,
should use it in all your meetings. You should always give people the opportunity if they can't speak their mind, because you're always going to have an introvert at
yeah,
that meeting.
yeah,
So if somebody can't speak their mind, um, and it happens in a lot of cases, or sometimes I can't speak my mind,
yeah.
then you have an anonymous tool. You have a tool there that allows people, to say their piece. And a lot of times it has taken our meetings into a completely different direction.
Totally.
And again, we're not attached to the outcome. So if the direction needs to be two steps backwards, because that's what we believe sometimes it is, then it's two step backwards.
Yes.
We need more clarity on it. Let's talk about it some more.
And it, sorry.
We're really, really good We've gotten really, really good with making sure that everybody understands that their voice matters.
Mm.
And we see huge participation, huge engagement. We haven't had anybody leave Dovico.
Oh my God, it's been a long time.
It's been a really long
I
time
don't know how many years. Yeah.
since COVID.
Oh my God, for sure. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's been a really, really long time. And that's because everybody has a voice. Everybody, there, I'm not going to say everybody is 100% of the time satisfied or
No, I don't think that exists.
I don't
I
either.
don't think there's a day that I go by that I'm like 100% like perfect day. No, things happen that trigger you, that offends you, that you start giving a shit about what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
But I
that.
want to believe that through show up or um, just who you and I are, we always show up in the face of love, that people can come to us and let us know um, that they really don't give a shit about that, about
Well,
whatever it is.
when you think about that, some people are like they're rootless in the way they can share their truth, right? That's what's happening. People are telling us, no, don't be a dickie, don't be a like don't do that, like don't you're too much of like
I love that.
and the ability for people to tell you that, right? Because they don't give a shit about what you're going to think about what they're going to say, right?
It's
That's why.
huge.
And that opens up the possibility for you to have the truth and see it
Yeah.
through and say, okay, maybe sometimes I'm not perfect. Yeah, I'm not. Okay,
Yeah.
let's work on that to not to become perfect, just to become better than you were yesterday,
And
right?
and
That's
that's
my competition. My competition is me yesterday,
me too.
right?
Me too.
Yeah,
I'm not competing against any other leader. I'm
no,
not competing against any other thing. What I am trying to do is show up in your life better
mm,
than I did yesterday.
yesterday.
It's absolutely right. If you can tell me, and I've had employees tell me the way you're showing up with me is not good,
Yeah.
right? And we're able to work it out, and the way that you need me to show up is in this particular way. I can do that. I am malleable. I am willing to work with anybody in any capacity of helping them through their own growth, and their own lifestyle. The one thing that we don't want here at Dovico is for people to lead different lives.
Mhm.
We want them to have
Oh,
the,
life balance, that thing.
well, I hate life balance.
Me too.
I want people to have a lifestyle.
Mm.
I don't want people to have to be somewhere, somebody different when they're not at work, right?
Right, right.
It's a
Well, that's
lifestyle, and I
yeah.
want the lifestyle to be, you want to go with your son on a bike ride at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I want you to be able to do that.
Like if I was to like categorize you as a person, I would
Yeah.
say you're a person that doesn't give a shit about what people think about you.
It took me
So,
a long time though. I
but
had to
sometimes,
really work on it, and as a matter of fact, I had to change even the people I hung out with,
yeah,
right?
it
So
happens. Yeah.
yeah, so the thing is we sometimes have to make sacrifices in our life to grow, to release self, to release the old harm, right? That has been done to us, and the stories that made us who we are today. You can allow your past to define you,
Yeah.
and that's what I did. I was a victim for a really long time. I hung my hat on being a victim. But at 47, I realized that that was no longer going to work for me.
So I took this line from you.
Hmm.
So what would love do? Like that
Yeah.
line, yeah. And what I've noticed is that if you lead with love and you don't care about what you're thinking about what they're thinking of you,
Hmm.
and you lead with love and you keep moving, so people will either follow you or be with you. I'm going to say keep on being in your circle, or they'll leave. But the interesting thing that I've noticed is even if they leave because you were in love, like in the love energy, if you want authenticity, and say, listen, you can call me names. It's okay. It doesn't hurt me. And I've seen you do this.
Yeah.
You can call me like whatever. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be here. Keep
Yeah.
on moving. When you're ready, I'll be here. What I've noticed, two people have two choice when they do that. When you don't give a shit about what you think about what they think, two things happen. One is that they either leave you,
Hmm.
like right, or they stay.
Hmm.
And if they leave you, they'll come back. How many employees like that we had to let go some people in the past because they weren't they were they cared too much about what they thought. I'm,
I still go have lunches
but
with people
we
who
still
who
call they
walked
still
away.
yeah they still call. We had to ask them to
Yeah.
walk away because they were too hung up on their own thoughts,
Well, they
right?
were they were in their knowing, right?
Yeah,
As opposed to looking at the possibilities.
right.
We're on a mind shift here. We're working on a way to make the workplace a better place, a safe place, a place where you can grow and tell your truth and be authentic. And that's a big change.
It's a big change.
It's a big
Yeah,
change in the
yeah,
world, and we're also trying to make sure that everybody understands that we're all just
yeah.
human. Everybody is a leader.
So it's important to also know that when somebody is asking you, or when you have an opportunity to say a truth, right? Not the truth, a truth,
Hmm.
because it's always a truth, your truth. Um, and I've learned this from you. It's important to be kind and get into it, because it's not everybody's at the same space that they don't. Most people care about how you perceive them,
Oh, big
right?
time.
And so it can really hurt a person, right? So being kind, so like not giving a shit about how you're thinking, about what they're thinking, also means, right, that you're seeing that you may want to tell them the truth because you're thinking about that, and that's not the kindest thing to do, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You got to let
So
people see the light.
let go of the thoughts that
Yeah.
you have about yourself, that you are this
Yeah.
person. And it's a practice. Wake up every day.
Hmm.
I wake up every day and I say, okay, how am I going to be today? How am I going to, I was coaching this young man. This is a good story for me. Can I tell this
Yeah,
story?
of course.
Take a few minutes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so this young man, and so one thing was bothering me because I had seen a guru on Facebook or on one of these things, TikTok it was. And he says the way that I raise my kids now, so their kids are young. So this guy now thinks he's a guru because he got two kids. So I'm thinking, okay, well, everybody has two kids, but does it make you a guru on kids? He said the way I do that is I make sure that the family of my kids, their friends, are good families. So they're not allowed to be friends with kids that are family that I don't approve of. And I thought
Oh gosh.
something's bothering me with this,
I
right?
betcha.
Right? And I thought, well, okay, so that's basically making sure that your kids can't make a decision, can't be independent, can't
Mm.
fly by themselves, can't make a good. What you're saying is the only way to succeed is to hang around successful people.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're not learning anything by that. You're not being on the edge. You're not learning by failing, right? So then I met this other young man, and he says, what I do in the first thing in the morning, I love this story. Me and my wife, we go get our two children. They're 5 and 3, so they're young. They're not like 18s. Right? That'd be weird. So, anyways, they bring their young kids into bed and they stay there for 15 to 20 minutes
Mm.
in the med, and they're just like they're being there. So I asked him, why do you do that? What do you do? He couldn't answer me. He said, but it's the best time of my day. But what
Hmm.
they're doing is they're saying to their kids, without telling them what to do or how to live their lives and how to speak or not to speak, they're saying, no matter what happens, um, I'm here, your
Hmm.
mom's here,
Hmm.
we're here for you.
Hmm.
And I've learned that you can do extraordinary, this is my personal experience. You can do extraordinary things if you have one person that believes in you, if you have one person that loves you, if you have one person that says, you know what, I'm there no matter what, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, I just want to share that. It has nothing to do with not giving a shit, but that's giving a shit so much
Well,
care.
it actually does. What I love about that is we all get up in the morning and we rush.
Mm,
Rush to get our cup of coffee,
yeah,
rush to get our shower, rush to get out the door, right?
yeah,
That was something that I changed years ago.
yeah.
Self-care,
Self care.
right? And that's
Self care,
exactly what
which is not
that
giving a shit about the rest of the world. So, yeah, okay,
absolutely.
got it.
Absolutely. So after I did my workout this morning, everybody in my workout community was like, "Oh my God, now I got to rush. Now I got to do this. Now I got to do," right? All that was going on. And I said, "Oh, I'm in an Epsom salts bath."
I know you called me sometimes. Like, okay, this is okay. This is
Well, I
okay.
have thoughts when I'm in the bath that I want to discuss with you.
Ever have your boss call you and it's, I'm in the bath right now. I have a thought.
Listen, the bath, an Epsom salts bath can be the
It
kindest
is.
place for you. So it took me years though to get over the rat race of the
Yeah.
morning,
Yeah.
right? It took me years. And a lot of people out there going, yeah, well, like lucky for you, Shell, because you know, you have the option to do that. Well, you know what?
But you created that
We
space.
all had the
Yeah.
option. I get up at
Mm,
5:30 to make sure that I could do that. Right. So we all have the option to take care of
we
ourselves.
do.
And yeah, that is, And that's something else that you that can
Hmm.
you have to give a shit about yourself a whole lot and not worry about the world is thinking about
But
you. You
it's the
are
same
in
thing.
that
Like
bath.
if you're stuck in your head about I'm thinking about what they're going to think, if I call them, if I take an Epsom bath, whatever it is, right? Like I was a Zoom call the other day, and I was digging clams, and like when I need to speak, I sat down in my chair, I did the call. When I wasn't speaking, I was listening. I had my
Yep.
headphones, and I was digging clams,
Yep.
and but I had to get over the fact that somebody might judge me because I'm digging clams during a meeting, right?
Absolutely.
That's what you're doing.
I
Yeah.
had to do the
Not
same
don't
thing.
give a shit about what you're thinking about what other people are thinking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah.
absolutely true. We actually had one of these meetings here not too long ago at Dovico, but we will talk about that
But
at
I'm gonna
another
say
time.
this. What I absolutely love about this younger generations, like the people we're hiring at 20, 22, 25, 20, 30,
Yeah,
they actually don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about what, like in a
they
way.
do.
They
They
do.
do, but it's so different.
Really?
It's so
Okay,
different,
for
Eve.
another episode.
It's for another episode.
Okay.
And
All
we
right.
will actually have a little bit more that we will be
Sorry,
discussing
we're over
about
time.
we are so over time, but I loved this conversation. Thank you so much. So let's sign off. Oh, we're having a little bit of trouble with our camera, so forgive us. We're going to figure that out. I'm Shelley Butler,
I'm Eve Doucette.
and this has been Mindset Monday. Mwah. Love you. Get your workout in. And how are you?